I used to manage a bar that had an apartment over it. That apartment actually used to be a brothel that was shut down in the 60s. We had a front door and back entrance, and I always sat and counted my drawer at the end of the night facing the front door. Of course the bar was locked after close, but so many times I felt like I heard someone come in the back door. I'd spin around and look only to see nothing. Finally one night I was sitting like usual, counting down my drawer and doing payroll when I had this awful feeling like I shouldn't be there. Almost as if I was doing something really wrong while being watched. I heard the normal back door opening sound, except it should be locked, and when I turned around a very tall man in a suit was standing in the back door, leaning against the frame. My immediate reaction was to think I must have left the back open, and crap, now I'm between him and the exit, so I calmly said, "I'm sorry, we are closed, I can't have anyone here right now." I turned for a millisecond to glance at my phone to make sure it was near me, and when I turned back, nothing and no one was there. I wouldn't have believed it myself if I wasn't shaking so badly. After I got the nerve I checked the cameras and it caught nothing but me turning around and talking to what maybe looked like a tiny bit of fuzziness on the screen. No one believes me, and honestly I didn't believe myself until the past, retired, bar owners posted a throwback picture they had dug up from the late 50s that featured the bar and brothel manager, and it was the exact man I had seen. Down to the angry facial expression. I still can't wrap my mind around it because he looked so real. My only theory is that as long as, in his mind, his women were working he was content, but the second we sat down to take a rest he was pissed we weren't making him money. So maybe he appeared to boss me around and keep his establishment running as he saw fit. It sounds crazy, but I started checking in with him after that. When I sat down to close I told him what I was doing and what I had done to clean. The weird sound slowed down after that, so maybe we came to some agreement. Lol. 6 months or so back, give or take, I go outside with my dog late at night, surprise. We live in BC, Canada, heavily wooded area by a popular lake, but only like, literally 5 minutes from the edge of town. Our backyard is about an acre, leading up to the mountainside, and we have a backyard neighbor who does homesteading, cows, goats. Anyway, I take my boy out for a quick walk around at like, I dunno, 1 or 2 a.m., I forget. Our driveway turns into a dirt path that circles around our backyard through the trees, and runs along their property. We start walking among the shared fence line, which is some mesh and mismatched bullshit fall down lumber. Their dogs, 5, 3 black lab looking MFERS and 2 white Great Pyrenees, start going crazy on the other side of their property, about an acre. My dog's pretty well trained, rough collie, lassie dog, like the show, and we have this command where I tell him to listen. When I give it he legit sits and actually listens to sub-volume, lower layer noise, so despite chaotic sound like cars, planes, people, he'll sit and try to pick up the quieter sounds, like birds, the wind, swaying grass or other animals. We've been practicing it for a few years. Anyway, their dogs are going ham on the other side of the property, which isn't abnormal, except they get increasingly, I don't know, defensive? Activated? Like they can see what it is they're barking at. Me and my dog are having a good moment knelt down practicing. And then I hear what sounds to be a branch break in the upper layer of space in the trees on the far side where their dogs are, and them giving chase, like, their volume increases and you can tell they're headed our way, and I know it wasn't us because we are dead silent sitting. Even I'm on the ground sitting beside him. The other dogs are almost at the fence line when my dog starts wanting to move, but I tell him, shush, a couple times. Shush, listen, Ryder, shush, listen. The dogs are now at our side of the fence, like rabid, and I say again, shush, listen, and then right back at me, about what I guess is maybe 20 or less feet in the dark. I'm good with feet and distance. I've worked in footage for approximately 16 years and I thrive in dark, low light and sound layers. Between me and their dogs, on our side of the fence, in the dark, I hear, shush, right back at me, but kind of, semi-throaty. Not a person but not a hiss. I'm frozen for a second, like one, staring into the dark, before I go to turn to tell Ryder to go. Let's go, and this piece of shit is already gone and standing on the back deck of our trailer, like, he left, he said, nope, and just bailed on me, which is on its own creepy because I didn't tell him to, he just did. I've never run so fast in my life. We live on res land.